morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Noel Hasagaba, and I serve as Deputy Executive Director at the Port of Long Beach. And today I have the great honor of serving as your Master of Ceremonies. The Port of Long Beach is pleased that you could join us today to celebrate one of the port's trucking partners, 4Gen Logistics, and its pledge to deploy zero emissions trucks throughout the Port of Long Beach and throughout Southern California. And I would also like to call out at this time Electrify America for its expertise in installing charging infrastructure. We'd like to say that our industry partners deserve credit for their help in cleaning the air, and projects like these are a good illustration of how we've made so much progress together. 4Gen decided to have zero emissions trucks, including Volvo and Kenworth trucks, using chargers built by Electrify America. And we have representatives from each of these entities today that you'll be hearing from in just a moment. Now, 4Gen's commitments give you a glimpse of the port's future as a zero emissions port. And with projects like these, we are well on our way to a zero emissions future. And this partnership in particular and this project reflects that commitment. Now, as many of you know, we already have the most aggressive goals of any port in the nation: zero emissions cargo handling equipment by 2030 and zero emissions trucks by 2035. These are big targets, but as you'll hear from our speakers, we have an almost 20-year record of environmental achievement and promoting sustainability that is unmatched by any seaport anywhere in the country and in the galaxy. Now, when we launched our first green port policies, some suggested it would be the end of our business. Instead, we are thriving. In fact, the Port of Long Beach is on track to have its best year ever, and our environmental achievements are a worldwide model for ports to reduce health risks and air quality impacts. So before we introduce our speakers, I do want to acknowledge, in addition to our mayor, who you'll hear from in a moment, we also have Councilmember Roberto Uranga, who represents the 7th Council District. Thank you, Councilmember, for being here. And we also have a few of our commissioners who will be introduced by our commission president. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our Mayor of Long Beach, Dr. Robert Garcia.
Well, good morning, everybody. And it's obviously very exciting to be here this morning, especially because what we have behind us, not just in infrastructure, but in these trucks, is really the future. And this is really the future of not just transportation, but it's the future of our supply chain. It's the future of what our ports are going to look like. And most importantly, it's a better future for our communities that are going to see the incredible benefit of cleaner air, of reduced emissions, and the electrification of really our entire country, which is very, very exciting. I want to just, of course, start by thanking everyone that is here and all of our partners. To 4Gen Logistics in particular, this infrastructure that is being installed is so critical to ensuring that we're able to get cargo moving in a way that is clean and in a way that is electric. We've seen, of course, through the adoption of our green port policy, we've seen through all the celebrations we've had here at the port as it relates to electric infrastructure, just the incredible progress that is happening. And I want to also just note the clean truck rate that was put in by the Board of Harbor Commissioners and with the support and leadership of our team at the port has made already a really big impact on our port. We're raising already tens of millions of dollars into our fund. And so I do want to thank our commissioners that are here. I know you're going to hear, I believe, from President Weissman, and you're going to hear from our other commissioners. I know that are both Bonnie Lowenthal and Steve Neal are here. And I want to just give them a big round of applause. So let's join me in recognizing all of our commissioners and our leadership for their support. I also just want to note that the terminal electrification, which I view as not just what's happening at the terminal, but the infrastructure that's being installed, the trucks that are being brought in, is part of really our larger mission to make this the greenest seaport in the United States, and to ensure that all of our work is really zero emissions work. This infrastructure that's being put in, these trucks that are going to be coming in and out, both short haul and longer haul. I understand that this truck over here can get out all the way out to the Inland Empire, I believe, and I know as we continue to put in additional infrastructure, that will grow. And so today is really a major victory for the port, but most importantly for the people in and out and around our communities that continue to want, deserve, demand cleaner air, and our zero emissions trucks and our infrastructure to electrify this community is going to make that happen. So I'm just happy to be here with all of you. Thank you to our partners, 4Gen Logistics especially, and especially to the leadership of our director and everyone else, our deputy director. Very grateful. Thank you very much.
Don't you just feel energized every time you hear the mayor speak, right? He's like our charger, right? Here in Long Beach. Well, our next speaker capped her extensive public service career as a senior advisor and transportation deputy to Mayor Garcia before retiring in 2020. Mayor Garcia then appointed her to the Board of Harbor Commissioners, where she currently serves as president of the Board of Harbor Commissioners. Please join me in welcoming Harbor Commission President Sharon Weissman.
Thank you, Noel, and thank you, Mayor. Welcome to the Port of Long Beach. On behalf of my colleagues, and I know the Mayor was kind enough to mention them, but I will again, our immediate past President, Steve Neal, and our Secretary of the Board, Bonnie Lowenthal, I want to thank everyone who's a part of this day and 4Gen Logistics for what they are doing here. We're continuing the mission begun by the Harbor Commission and port staff in 2005 when the Green Port Policy was adopted. The future is zero emissions. And alongside partners such as 4Gen Logistics, Electrify America, Volvo, and Kenworth, we are going to lead the industry there. Our situation now is similar to when we invested billions of dollars in our terminals, waterways, and other infrastructure ahead of our competitors because we knew the big ships of tomorrow were coming. They came faster and larger than anyone considered possible. And we're going to show the world that zero emissions is possible sooner than anyone believes with the chargers and trucks you see before you. 60 public charging stations will be installed here at the Port of Long Beach. We hope by the end of next year. And 4Gen's goal is to have it serve a fleet of 100 zero-emission trucks. With our trailblazing programs and partnerships with labor and industry, it's easy to see why we're the port of choice for Trans-Pacific trade. And speaking of seeing why we're the port of choice, I want to take this moment, you heard it first here, to invite you all to the Green Port Fair. The community, everyone's invited. It's Saturday, November 5th from noon to 5 at our port facility maintenance, which is 725 Harbor Plaza here in Long Beach. So please join us, pick up a flyer if you haven't already got one. We hope to see you there. But I'm going to leave you today with two mottos. One, even in crisis, we continue to build. During the Great Recession, we built to be big ship ready. And in COVID-19 with the pandemic, we completed the new Long Beach International Gateway Bridge and maintained our course to zero emission goals. The other is, we believe great jobs and a good economy do not have to come at the cost of a sustainable environment. It's behind everything we do, as we're demonstrating today. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, President Weissman. Appreciate the invitation. And again, just want to reinforce that November 5th, Greenport Fest, Greenport Fair. At this time, I'd like to introduce someone who was here when the Greenport concept was started. At the time, he was in a different role at the port. He was on the Harbor Commission. And then he went to the FMC, where he served as chairman of the Federal Maritime Commission. But he's back as our executive director. Please welcome Mario Cordero.
Thank you, Noel, for that introduction. And thank you, everyone, for taking the time to experience this great milestone. David, Duncan, and his father, Rick, I remember a couple years back, I visited your facility, and we were talking about the transition to LNG trucks. And I remember something that your father told me, David. He said, well, We're about moving the needle and a sustainable trucking operation. And we will do whatever we need to do to support the Greenport vision. Now, at the time, this was just a vision. Today, it's no longer a vision. So David and Rick, thank you so much for your leadership and providing this opportunity here. So again, I want to congratulate 4Gen Logistics for their commitment to zero emissions, as I just stated, but also Electrify America, Volvo, Cansworth. These are all stakeholders of the goods movement industry. These are all people that for a number of years, we've been telling the community that we're going to change our ways, that we're going to move the needle. And here's an example of the leadership by Volvo and Cansworth and Electrify America and what we're doing today. For those who question as to whether or not the ports have made progress, to me, let me make an additional 5 points. So number one, the Port of Long Beach has secured about $70 million in grant funding to support $150 million in demonstration projects that are deploying zero emission and near zero emission cargo handling equipment and trucks at the Port of Long Beach. Number two, we have definitely moved the needle on zero emission infrastructure deployment. 17% of the cargo handling equipment at the Port of Long Beach is already zero emission. So we are living the promise that we made in 2005 with the Green Port policy that we were going to transform this industry to a sustainable and green port. We're on our way. Point number three, and I think this is something that we're doing constantly. We're constantly doing feasibility studies every 3 years to ascertain the state of technology of zero emission for this industry. So again, another mark here in terms of how these studies that we put a number of days and hours and years in making sure we have commercially available technology to meet our promise. Point number four, as has already been alluded, is I think the big talking point that I want people to walk away from in this event. The Port of Long Beach is the first seaport to offer public charging facilities here for the industry. For me, that is probably the greatest achievement through the leadership of our commission and the leadership of our mayor, that again, we don't just talk about progress, we make this happen. And as our president said, this is the shape of things to come. And last, I do want to mention our sister port, the Port of Los Angeles, in terms of what we're doing together to make the St. Peter Bay complex better, not just sustainable for the ports, but also better for our communities. And with that, I also want to thank the Mobile Source Pollution Reduction Review Committee for their investment in clean transportation and initiatives to the South Coast region. Since 1990, the vital funding has totaled more than $400 million, impacting to improve the lives of people in the surrounding neighborhoods and community. And finally, again, I want to thank 4Gen for his commitment to zero emissions. This is a family-run trucking company that was started years ago. And people need to understand how amazing it is for a family-run company to achieve this milestone. So it's a lesson to learn for all the other companies who, again, are collaborating to make this port complex more sustainable and better for our communities. But I'm very proud of the leadership of David and Rick, the Duncan family. So with that, that concludes my comments. So thank you again for choosing the port of choice to move forward the needle on zero emission technology.
Thank you very much. Mario, you see that train right there? You know what we call that? That's the economy in motion, right? All right. Mario, is our executive director, and we're so proud to follow his lead at the port. And I also want to recognize we have a number of port teammates with us. We've got members of our environmental planning, real estate, communications, commission office, and a lot of what you see out here is largely due, and we have security as well, so we want to make sure that they're properly recognized. At this time, we're going to move on to our next speaker, Mario alluded to them. 4Gen Logistics is a family-owned trucking company with roots in the industry since 1943. And I'm pleased today to introduce Rick and David Duncan, who are the third and fourth generation owners of this thriving company. So ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Rick and David Duncan.
As I look out at this crowd today, I see public and private leaders mutually committed to making a change that is costly and risky. But I am confident it is attainable and the right thing to do. Next year, we will not only energize 30 charging stations on this site that we're here today, but additional 14 in Rialto. We, along with Electrify America, are placing a massive multi-watt battery energy storage system, BESS for short, at both facilities. The state-of-the-art system will allow us to store energy during off-peak times and use it when the grid is taxed. So our trucking operations can continue without interruption and without impeding on the grid during any future power deficiencies. Towards the end of 2023 and early 2024, we will operate over 90 charging stations on the two sites. All of this could not happen without the hard work from the Port of Long Beach, grants from public agencies, AQMD and CARB, Electrify America, SCE, and CalSTART. My father and I acknowledge that without their contributions, we would have ventured down the road of zero-emission technology much differently. And we wish to thank our truck manufacturing partners here today, Kenworth and Volvo, who have pioneered the development of these cutting-edge trucks. So all of our futures will be bright. We confidently place orders for 61 zero-emission trucks because it was the right thing to do. And it was our customers that wanted it. Our employee drivers test drove most of the zero-emission trucks on the road today and overwhelmingly agreed on the models you see behind us today. Therefore, 4Gen Logistics is announcing today that we will have a 100% zero-emission fleet starting in 2025, 10 years before it is required. Perhaps never purchasing an internal combustion truck engine again. Thank you for your support and everyone for coming out today and allowing us to showcase our trucks, our charging infrastructure.
Thank you very much. That's what we call bold leadership, right? Would you agree? Thank you so much for that, 4Gen. At this time, I'd like to shift gears and introduce another partner that's making this possible, and that is Electrify America, which is the largest open DC fast charging network in the US. They're the ones who will be installing charging infrastructure here at this site and at other of 4Gen's locations in Rialto. And with us today is Rachel Moses, who is Electrify America's Director of Commercial Services, Business Development, and Green Cities. Please join me in welcoming Rachel to the stage.
Thank you, Noel. Hello, and thank you to all of you for attending today's celebration. As you can see by the amount of people that are up here speaking today, there is a lot of excitement and interest in what we're doing to bring electric transportation to the Port of Long Beach. It does take a village to accomplish these big goals. We all collectively have to bring the charging infrastructure, electric truck solutions, to not only the port complex, but to commercial trucks and fleets broadly. At Electrify America, we constantly work to identify how we might make the largest impact in our country's transition to electric mobility. And I truly believe that electrifying heavy and medium duty trucks, like the thousands of drayage trucks that enter this port complex every day, has the ability to make an immediate impact on air quality on local communities. And that's why I'm so excited that we at Electrify America are back here today. Only 1 year after we announced our $25 million Green City investment right here in the Port of Long Beach and the Wilmington neighborhood of Los Angeles. Today, to announce real progress toward that investment, supporting sustainability goals. Today, my colleagues and I are proud to announce Electrify America's plans to install a Phase 1 30-fleet dedicated charger equipped with the fastest charging speeds available today, right here at the Port of Long Beach in partnership with 4Gen Logistics. To put it simply, this is a big deal. Not only to this group of stakeholders, but to the community, the ports, and to the future of fleet electrification as the largest charging station on port property in the nation. This unofficial groundbreaking is bringing to life our commitment to support 4Gen's 61 electric trucks serving the ports and Southern California. And we're just getting started. At Electrify America, we are continuing to complete our Green City plans through 2024. We'll work with local officials as well as private fleet operators, owners, and collaborators to implement projects focused on charging electrification for heavy-duty vehicles. And we hope that our collaboration with 4Gen will kickstart more dialogues and charging partnerships with fleet operators across North America. Thank you to our partners here and to everybody for being part of this progress. Cannot wait to see where we go from here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rachel. Much appreciated. Our next speaker represents Volvo Trucks North America, where he serves as Vice President of System Solutions and Partnerships. Please welcome Keith Brandis.
Good morning. It's great to be here, and thank you, Mr. Mayor, as well as Harbor Commission President Weissman. I'd like to also thank our board member, AQMD board member Krakow, of course, Port of Long Beach Executive Director Cordero, Rick and David Duncan, owners of 4Gen Logistics, our dealership, Tech Equipment, and the many partners that are represented here today. This is an honor and a privilege to represent Volvo Trucks North America and the electric trucks that you see behind me. The Volvo VNR Electric has 2 years of proven drayage operations between the ports and the Inland Empire, and we're excited to be adding 41 additional zero tailpipe emissions trucks as we in 4Gen Logistics pursue aggressive sustainability goals. During this time, Volvo Trucks refined the VNR Electric through direct driver feedback and operational data to find the best routes, understand charging cycles, and provide full dealer uptime support. Since first starting production in 2021, the VNR Electric is now in the next production phase of enhanced features with range up to 275 miles. At Volvo Trucks, we say partnership is the new leadership, and we started our electrification strategy in Southern California with the Volvo Lights Project and 14 partners to develop, test, pilot, demonstrate, and commercialize battery electric trucks. Recently, we announced our Volvo Charging Corridor to expand public fast DC charging for medium and heavy-duty trucks from Southern all the way up through Central California. Therefore, this announcement today is further evidence that electric heavy-duty commercial trucks are ramping up along with critical charging infrastructure. We thank the drivers of 4Gen Logistics for testing and evaluating the Volvo VNR Electric. We listened to them, and they told us that the trucks are extremely quiet, powerful, smooth riding, and precise handling. All the things you need. Another advantage of electric trucks is they can continue to run the AC in a no idle zone like here at the port, especially important in the summer months. This is also good news to share what Electrify America and 4Gen are doing, making public the charges at these locations. Again, we're pleased and proud to be a provider to 4Gen Logistics serving the Port of Long Beach. Following our speeches today, we invite you up to see the Volvo VNR electric trucks and all the exciting news that we're sharing with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Keith. I like what you said. Partnership is the new leadership, right? It really took a partnership to get us here. And speaking of partners, our next speaker is another partner in this effort, and that is Alex Cervenka, who's the Zero Emissions Sales Manager at Kenworth Trucking Company.
All right, hello everybody. So first off, there's going to be a lot of thank yous because there's a lot to be thankful for here. So again, Director Hasegaba, thank you for having us here. Mayor Garcia, President Weissman, and Director Cordero, thank you for all hosting us here today. This is truly monumental. But just to kind of get into it, again, I'm Alex Cervenka, Zero Emission Sales Manager at Kenworth Truck Company, and I've been working with partners like 4Gen Logistics on our Zero Emissions initiative. And I can confidently say they are truly a leader in this space. So for too long, residents and those working around the ports have been bearing the brunt of pollution coming from the drayage industry and all the heavy transportation industry. And while vehicle manufacturers like Kenworth and Volvo have been making a lot of great strides, and I'm actually going to take a quick aside here because it doesn't get said enough. So to our friends at CARB, you don't often hear this from OEMs, but thank you. I mean, we appreciate all that you do. You make us better. So again, thank you for all that you do. I know you don't hear it much, but. So after years of achieving and exceeding the ambitious goals set forth by the California Air Resource Board, you know, we're at a new phase here. This is truly watershed moment because this is something that was a pipe dream just a few years ago, but we're talking zero emissions, and you can't really do better than that. We're now producing vehicles that not only are revolutionizing our industry, but vehicles that will have an incredible impact on the environment and will greatly improve the lives of those who have too long bore the ill effects of air pollution. Heavy-duty trucks like the T680E to my left here, these are going to be improving the air that all of us breathe. Now, this revolution couldn't happen without people who aren't afraid to ask, if not now, then when? Without people like Rick Duncan and David Duncan, the entire 4Gen team showing true commitment to decarbonizing our industry, to leading the industry and proving to their peers that there's no better time to move away from fossil fuels than right now, this revolution wouldn't be possible. On behalf of literally everyone on the planet right now who breathes air, thank you to you very much. I mean, I wish there was more we could say other than thank you and a round of applause, but that's all I've got for today. So now, this revolution will not always be easy. I mean, there's going to be a lot ahead of us, but goals that are worth achieving, that are worthwhile, are seldom easily won. So much to Keith's point, I mean, partnerships are the new leadership. So I just want to say thank you to everyone in attendance today. I want to particularly point out our partners with the Port of Long Beach, partners with Volvo, partners with Electrify America, partners with 4Gen. I mean, you have our full support from Kenworth Truck Company to make this dream a reality. And after hearing from everybody else today, I feel comfortable saying that you've got that same level of support. So this is something that's going to happen, and it's going to be happening here pretty soon. I mean, 2035 is not too far away. So I'm excited to see what the future brings for us. But, you know, we just have to admit that we've got all the right partners here today. We've got all the right players involved. We've got all sides of it covered. And, you know, we have the common goal of making zero emissions a reality. And today we are taking a massive step towards reaching that goal. So again, thank you to 4Gen and your commitment to cleaner air for all. Thank you to the Port of Long Beach, CARB, CalStart, and for your support of 4Gen's ambitious goals to go zero emissions. And to all of our partners here today, thank you for being a part of the drive to zero emissions.
Thank you very much, Alec. Well stated. Our next speaker is Gideon Krakow. Now, he wears multiple hats, and I just noticed today he also wears multiple pins on his lapel. He serves as a member of the board of the South Coast Air Quality Management District, and he was also appointed to the California Air Resources Board by Governor Newsom. And we're happy to have Gideon with us today, and he'll be speaking both on behalf of AQMD and CARB. Please welcome Gideon Krakow.
You're probably noticing my cast. You should see the other guy. That's all I can say. Thanks for being here today and for having me here. Just love the Port of Long Beach, the energy, the competence of the Long Beach leadership and your staff here. It just shines through every time. So thank you, Port of Long Beach. My name is Gideon Krakow. I'm the governor's appointee to both the South Coast AQMD and the California Air Resources Board. I definitely want to acknowledge the Duncans, third and fourth generation, next year celebrating 80 years in the business. And David Thornburg, the consultant, for inviting me here. I learned so much, I don't know where you are, David, each time that I speak with you. But it sounds like you love the trucks. Volvo and Kenworth, you're gonna go 100% zero emissions in 2025. That's really amazing. So thank you so much, Duncans. You know, it's no secret that Southern California suffers from some of the worst air pollution in the nation. In the South Coast, that pollution is primarily fueled by the goods movement sector, the trains, the ships, and the heavy-duty trucks that transport these goods from the port to our stores and front porch. Trucks are the single largest smog-forming emitter in the South Coast Basin. So every day, the Air Resources Board and the South Coast are working to find innovative and practical solutions to reduce air pollution and protect the health of the millions of people that we serve. I'm pleased to say that the South Coast Mobile Source Air Pollution Reduction Committee provided $7 million to cost share for these 40 zero-emission trucks here at 4Gen and the associated electric infrastructure that I think is going in over there. What is that, the port side? My nautical term for the day, over there in the future. You know, it's not easy to be on the leading edge. Right, 4Gen? You're going to show the way for others. Governor Newsom has a goal that by 2045, 100% of our truck fleet in California, and 2035, 100% of the drayage fleet will be zero emission. And incentive programs like this one that funded 4Gen are going to help our state budget. The Federal Inflation Reduction Act at the federal level are putting billions of dollars to assist early market adopters like 4Gen transition to these kinds of technologies and put us on track to decarbonize and clean up the trucking sector. I want to also note the publicly available charging infrastructure that's going to be here on our port side. It's essential. Thank you, 4Gen, for being a good neighbor here at the ports. Thank you for opening your doors and the port's doors so others can charge their trucks here. Congratulations to 4Gen, the Port of Long Beach, its leadership, and all those that made that happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gideon, and I promised him we'd get him one of those 24/7 pins, and he said he would wear them proudly, right? By the way, I think they forgot to turn on the AC, but I understand that there's great AC inside the truck, so the invitation's available. If anyone wants to see what these trucks look like on the inside, they'll turn on the AC. Our final speaker, it's my honor to introduce another important partner from CalSTART, and that's Nikki Okuk. And she serves as Deputy Director and lead of Trucks Transforming Communities. Nikki?
Thank you so much for having me here today. I am proud and honored to be speaking on behalf of CalSTART and the California HVIP program, which helped to fund this project. For 30 years, CalSTART, a small nonprofit, has been bringing together hundreds of industry partners and part of our consortium. We've also been really honored and proud to work alongside the California Air Resources Board in administering the California HVI program for a decade. And in that decade, hundreds, thousands really, of trucks and buses, clean, zero-emission trucks and buses have been deployed here in the streets of California. I will say, however, though, that when I joined this program 3 years ago, there was not a single electric tractor, Class 8 truck in our catalog. And here we stand just 3 short years later with the incredible leadership of companies like Volvo and Kenworth, They're incredible, hardworking dealers like Tracy and the tech team and Alec and the Kenworth team that we've heard from here today, with the incredible leadership of folks like the family at 4Gen, which I think none of us can truly appreciate the level of coordination required to get a project like this done. How many team members had to take risks and work closely together to make this possible? And so I'd really like to applaud everyone for all of their hard work. We've come so far in such a short time, and we have so much further that we can still go. Now, as the last speaker of the day, there's not much more that I can say that you have not already heard. But I will say this. As someone whose family has lived on this freight corridor for generations, whose family has also worked in these trucks and others in this port, who's also raising 3 small children who go to school not far from this exact place, I extend my deep gratitude and thank you for the leadership and work that you are putting forward to make this possible. 3 years ago, when there were no zero-emission trucks for us to try to sell to truckers, we heard everyone telling us that it wasn't possible, it wasn't practical. But I will say that it is the visionary leadership of folks like this who take the step to go a bit beyond, not to envision a future that is possible or practical, but the one that is necessary. So thank you very much for protecting the lives of my family and my children. And I'm so excited to see how much more we can do in our work to change transportation for good. Thank you very much.
Well done, Nikki. Thank you so much for your comments, but also for that personal testimony. You know, we're not just changing trucking here, ladies and gentlemen. We're changing lives in a positive way. Well, I want to thank again all of our speakers. Thank you all who joined us today, the members of the media included, and for an opportunity for us to tell you as a port and our partners what we're doing to make zero emissions a reality. I also want to give a shout out to all our teammates from the Port of Long Beach. I mentioned several of them already. I also want to let you know that our government relations team is also in the house, and they made sure that our VIPs were here. But let's give a hand to all of our Port of Long Beach colleagues who worked so hard to make this day possible. And before we conclude and have our speakers come forward for group photos, we do have members of the press here. So if anyone would like to ask a question now, you're invited to do so. We could also make our speakers available one by one. So does anyone have a general question you'd like to ask right now? Okay. All right, seeing none, our speakers will be available in just a moment, right after we do some group shots. So I'd like to invite all of our speakers to please come back to the front here, and we're gonna do some quick photo ops. And then also, how many of you like cookies? Okay, they're not carb-free, but they are zero emissions cookies, right? We're calling them clean air cookies, so make sure you take your clean air cookie on your way out. Again, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Port of Long Beach, thank you all very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.